Well, before we get too far into today's episode and we start talking about these little things and how I could have used them last night, at least I think I could have, I did come back to the model table last night and I spent, I'm guessing about 15 minutes, 15 frustrating minutes getting our little part glued together, but I did eventually get it. It wasn't without problems. If you want to avoid seeing all those problems and seeing a lot of stuff that was similar to yesterday's episode, just scroll ahead to the time that is shown on the bottom of your screen right now. Otherwise, if you want to see how I got it and, got nothing better to do, well, enjoy. In the meantime, let's just sort of carry on here. Well, quite a bit of time has passed here on this very warm Friday afternoon. It's already 20 to 7 and it's still 31 outside. And also, my coffee is gone. Now, I have to be very careful that I don't allow myself to become, you might say, discouraged. I have to remind myself that I am actually having a good time. And thank you, Kevin, for noticing that I had this on backwards. I'll get it straightened around. And thank you. I think it was Mark in Australia suggested maybe just lay this down, and it might go easier. I know there's got to be an easier way to do this, and I will get it. But like I started to say, I got to be careful that I don't get discouraged. I just finished watching Steve's weekly episode on his model that he's making in the model shed, and when I watch him and the magnificent job he's doing, I could very, very easily allow myself to become discouraged and maybe even quit. But I got to remember I'm having a good time here, and I'm having a good time, and that's that. All right. Yeah, I'm having a good time. Okay. I'm going to take a used microscope slide here. And the reason for that is so that if the CA glue gets away on me, it's going to go on the glass. And, okay, I don't think we're going to need this for a while. All right, now, if I understood Mark correctly, I think what he was suggesting is, now, I have to remember now I'm looking at this a little bit differently, so I want to make sure I get the, oh, come on, don't tell me I'm going to have this problem again. It could be that I'm losing my dexterity here. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think the idea is we will take this. You know what? I should be moving in. We don't need to see the clock anymore. Okay, let's give this another go here. Now, I do realize that I'm going to have to straighten up the railing a little bit. But I think the idea is, okay, now at least we know that the back of the railing is against the back of the platform. I think what I'm going to do is pick this up so that it's more of an angle like this. If I was to put this under the end here. Okay, would that be better? Okay, I'm going to have to reshape our railing. Somehow I got it a little bit out of skew. Okay, right now the back of the platform is right down against on the glass. So that's good. And that means that the back of the railing would be in the right place. But obviously you can see the front, because it has, the whole thing for some reason has gotten itself widened out. But if I squeeze it, it sort of elongates. I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then somebody else suggested, or was it Mark suggested, just glue it right there and just bend it around. Somebody suggested that anyway. You know what? I'm getting tired. I can't even talk. No, I haven't tried this yet, so I may not have it adjusted quite right here, but I think it's going to be somewhat better. Okay, now I think if we were to raise this up a little bit here, just a little bit more, it would bring the bottom rail in contact with the. Let's. It'd be nice if I could just sort of squeeze that together like that gently and hold it, but I don't know how I can. I don't have any clips that are that delicate. I'll think of something here yet. There, I've almost got it. All right. Now, if I could put just the minutest amount of CA thin right there and at the top, just below that, just by that ring, and not have it stick to the applicator, I think then after that, this cures on the front here. If I'd stop poking at it, that is. Then we could worry about the back. Have to poke at it, don't you? Okay, let's see if we can get some thin there. Did I even get any on there? Let's try that again. Oh. This is, I don't think I've ever had a frustrating experience with the photo etch like I've had in the last few hours here. Why will that not come off? Well, I'm wondering, did I get a little bit, and it's okay. I did touch it. Let's just wait a little bit here. Does this appear to have okay, now are those two pieces stuck together? Yes, they are. Okay, this side here with the longer rail is glued down all the way from the front to the back. But this other one now, my thinking is that maybe I could hold it down with the holder downer. If I get the holder downer right in the right place, okay. Now we can come in with the applicator from the back here, and hopefully we can tack it in place. It almost looks like it could go, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna just reposition my holder downer here. I don't know, it kind of, I think that's pretty well perfect. All right. Okay, looking at it up close now, I can see that this short rail has to be bent in a bit, but I'm afraid to try and put any stress on it. So I think what I'm going to do is just glue along the side, and then later okay, hopefully that's just gonna, ooh, I bumped the whole apparatus there. Ooh, it's coming off. It's coming up. Oh, oh, oh. Ron, you're so clumsy. All right, let's not touch anything now. I know the holder downer is kind of not where I want it, but it's working. Now, it was almost 2 hours ago that I was talking about having fun. Well, it didn't sound like I was having fun, but you know what? I really was. We'll see you in the morning, after I put on the macro lens. Oh, and to that viewer who noticed that the platform was sort of sloped down at the front, well, you were right. It is. I tried to straighten it a while ago, and I'm afraid I'd break it if I tried. So we're just going to have to leave it the way it is. Okay. Now we'll see you in the morning. Well, obviously we're back to morning. And the thought I'd had while I was editing out there was, could I have maybe used these to have held that railing down on the platform? And I haven't tried it yet. So I'm just wondering here. Now, I don't want to have this thing go pinging off and break on me. So let's just release it a little bit and put it in at an angle where everybody can see it. Okay, now is the tension on the spring on this thing too hard that it would have damaged the rail, or could we have somehow, got this, held this in place? Let's see. I do believe we probably could have used that. It would have been a lot better. I probably could have fastened the two of these in, like one on each side, near the back. But the front would have been held perfectly in place, and then I could have put a little bit of CA thin with my applicator here, and yeah. Anyway, next time. Well, it is after 11 already, but I've been kind of busy. Now, I wasn't doing this all the time, but I'm making myself another pressure cooker full of romaine lettuce soup. Now, this time I'm going to add a couple of yellow onions, and I've got just a hint of ground beef in there. I think about 37 grams of ground beef, just to give it a little hint of flavor. One of the viewers was mentioning how I think he said his mother made cream of lettuce soup, only she used to put a potato in it. Well, I haven't had potatoes in the house for about a year, I guess. Yeah, ever since I went on my diet, I stopped buying potatoes. So we'll see how that works out. I'm making 3 liters of it, and I've calculated it out that it's going to be 110 calories per liter. Now that's not very fattening. Anyway, telling you more information than you need to know, right? Now, I was noticing, and I imagine that some of you did too, that where the clamp was pulling down on the railing, it actually bent the railing just a little bit, because the railing, I guess, was not glued too well there, and it sort of slipped off of the platform and got pulled down. Now, I don't think that's anything that can't be repaired after we release the pressure, but while I was editing out this last little scene here, in which I noticed that, I can't actually see it now. Maybe if I put on my stronger glasses, I can kind of see it now. However, what I was going to say here is, I know that I haven't pulled one of these apart today, but I have pulled them apart in the past, and they've got a little spring in there that I do believe, unfortunately you can't get at the spring. Okay, that's too bad. I had been hoping that the little spring that was inside there, it could be, snipped off and have the pressure released a little bit. I wonder if there's another way I can get this apart. Yeah, they... Okay. Yeah, that's too bad. I had thought that when you pulled this off that the whole thing would come out, but you can see there that the spring comes up against a kind of bottoms out, and then I guess when they made this thing, how would they have made something like that with the spring under tension? Yeah. Well, it was a thought. That's about all I have lately is thoughts. I better get at this here. And all right, let's move on and find our. I guess I better get those off of there very, very carefully. So far, I have managed to not damage this thing, which is amazing, actually. Okay, so we'll release this one, and we will release this one. Yeah, I can see where I can push that back up. I don't know if I'll do it on camera or not, because I'm just going to go ahead and do it and get it done. Now, I don't know why I didn't think of this. I should have picked up on this from my pen making days. I think what happens is that when they make these things, they'll make the piece of plastic just the way you see it here, and then they will, well, let's just take it apart, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. I think if I take and we open this up here, trying to remember to do it on camera. Now, it's probably going to make a fool out of me here, but I think that the whole thing, spring and everything, should come out. Well, there we go. And it's a very similar pen, or spring rather, that there is on the on a ballpoint pen. Yeah. Why didn't I think of that? Too soon old, too late smart. Okay, now my thinking is that why don't I take and cut about, say we'll cut 2 millimeters off of the end of it, put it back in and see if, well, maybe I better just do 1 millimeter, because we don't want to have to take it apart and stretch it back out. Well, I got 2 liters here. There's probably about 3 times as much still in the kitchen in the pot. And I think, did I mention it's about 110 calories per liter? So that's not bad. Now, I haven't tried it yet, at least not with onions in it. So, and you know how I like to be honest in my videos. So I'm not going to tell you it's good if it's not. So let's give it a whirl here. My honest opinion is it's not as good as pizza. But I think I mentioned this yesterday. When you're hungry, anything tastes good. Dishwater would taste good. No, it's not bad. It's not. There's no salt in it. I'm on a low salt thing, and I think if it had a little salt in it, it would probably be better. Or maybe I could have put in a little bit more of the allspice. I just put in just a little tiny bit. But you know what? Tomorrow's pizza day. Okay, if you remember, I modified these for cutting sprue just over 2 years ago, and I faithfully used them for, it's so hard to pick stuff up. I faithfully used them for a few months, I guess, and then I sort of started using my Tamiya nippers. Now let's not make this too short here. We'll just take off just a little bit here. Now, because I don't want this to go pinging off somewhere, like in my eye, I'm just going to put my finger over it here. Okay, now let's put this back together. Now, what are the odds of that happening? I couldn't have got that to happen, if I had tried. Okay, now this should go up inside the spring. Now, is it going to be a little bit less? No, it's still pretty strong. Still pretty strong. Let's shorten it some more here. There we go. I guess we could do it like this too, couldn't we? All right, that's noticeably different. I suppose I could have put a strain gauge on this thing and you'd be able to tell the difference, but don't want to be ridiculous over this. I could probably take it off just a little bit more yet. I'm trying to hurry here because I realize the time is getting on. You can't see the clock, but it says 1:38 already. Okay, now that feels about right. That feels just about right. Now, if we take, let's put this back together first to see how the it's going to go. This is kind of keyed. There's a little notch there, and there's a little notch on this thing as well. So. First of all, we got to get these in here, and then we turn it. Okay, now this, I believe it should stay. Yeah, no, that's quite gentle actually. Okay, now let's bend that back. Oh, where's my pliers? Trying to do everything on camera here. Now we just go in about a couple of millimeters here. Give it a bit of a sharp bend. All right. Now, how's that look? You know what? That feels almost perfect. I can't see how that would bend the photo etch. We'll test that. We'll test this out, but not today. Maybe tomorrow. Let's see if we can find the antenna array that is supposed to go on that part that we made. B45 and B46. So they should be pretty obvious. Okay, you can see here where the hole on this one is larger than the hole on that one. So in other words, this one's got to go on first and drop down over top of the part that's going to stop this one from going all the way down. Now, if I look at the drawing here, and I did look at it closer, I do believe that the one with the small hole just sits right on the very top of that mast. And this is going to be something that's going to be easily broken off. Okay. Now, did I mention that I'm not going to be painting the stuff when it's on the sheet anymore? Okay, swing that around and get the other 4. I'm noticing it looks like this one here got bent. I'm looking straight down on it so I can see that it's not straight. I don't know if it's safe to straighten it now. Maybe now's the time to straighten it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Ooh, did I go too close or what's happening here? No, it's all right. Okay, let's get those in the tin. Okay, 210. I guess I probably could keep going at it a little while longer, but I think this episode has pretty well been beat to death. And we got our little antenna array. What I am going to do though is I'm going to clean the paint off them. I guess maybe I don't have to, but I'm going to anyway. And thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll test out our weakened spring. Oh yeah, that's much, much better. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.